Your love, it lifts me higher than I've ever been lifted before. So keep it up, quench my desire, and I'll be at your side forevermore. You know your love keeps on lifting higher, higher and higher. I said your love, yeah, it keeps on lifting me higher and higher. Listen, now once I was downhearted. Disappointment was my closest friend. But then you came and it soon departed. You know he never showed his face again. That's why your love is lifting me higher than I've ever been lifted before. I said your love is lifting me higher than I've ever been lifted before. Yeah. Lifting me. That's why your love keeps lifting me higher. There was this one in a million, I found you. And when I whip my arms around you, I can stand up and face the world. That's why your love keeps lifting me higher than I've ever been lifted before. Oh, your love keeps lifting me higher and higher. Oh yes, your love keeps lifting me higher than I've ever been lifted before. Oh yes, your love, it's lifting me higher, 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 higher and higher. Lifting me higher.
It is impossible for you to receive that which your mind refuses to accept. If you desire to receive more, you must mentally encompass it. You make your life small and limit its possibilities when you refuse to accept the whole gift that is God. As you open your consciousness to a greater receptivity of the divine, to an enlarged concept of the good that can flood your experience, life will take on a new and wonderful meaning. And so today we're going to we are going to practice visioning. And visioning is different than visualization. Visualization is really a practice that we use. I know that recently, I have been in these Jack Canfield courses, and he talks about writing affirmations and then visualizing that affirmation as a reality in the now. And it's a great practice. It is not visioning. Visioning is opening up to that channel of God as you and asking some really important questions and then listening. Now, the thing with visioning is that some of you'll close your eyes when we do this visioning process. You'll close your eyes and I'll ask a question and you'll get a panorama of pictures. I used to be so jealous of people that got these panorama of pictures, because when I close my eyes in visioning, I get a black screen. However, I hear words. I'll get words that just flash in and I'll write down. They may not make sense to me at the time. Eventually, when I'm done with the visioning process and go back and think, oh yeah, that makes sense to me now. Sometimes, like the person that taught me the visioning process, Ray Jordan, when I was complaining, which I'm not supposed to be doing. However, that was last week's lesson for anybody that's doing the Jack Canfield process with me. So I'm not going to write this down. I was complaining to her about, I close my eyes and I just see a black screen. And she said, I get twitches in my body, different places. That's part of the visioning process. I had also shared with somebody one time who told me, she saw eagles soaring over mountaintops and, daffodils in a field. And I'm like, hate that. I'm so jealous. She said, well, what happens to you? I said, I hear words. She said, oh, so God just speaks to you directly. You just get words. She said, tell me what eagles flying over mountaintops and daffodils mean. I was like, oh, okay. So it doesn't matter how you hear this vision, whether it's words, whether it's pictures. Sometimes you'll get nothing. And that is perfect also. Because nothing will turn out, I promise you. You'll go to bed that night, you'll have a dream. Something will shift within you, and you'll recognize it and think, oh, okay, that's part of that visioning process that I did. So does anybody, Bernie, watch the online people, does anybody have any questions about visioning before I describe the steps? Anybody online? I think everybody here has probably visioned at one time or another, correct? So there are actually, like our spiritual mind treatment, and I would assume I learned this in Ray's class. However, I didn't write down who the author was, but they said, like the 5 steps of treatment, there are actually 5 steps to visioning. And rather than just getting us right into visioning to start, I want to tell you about the steps, because I think that we miss that sometimes. We assume everybody knows what's going on, and sometimes people don't. Sometimes people are afraid to ask. So the first step of visioning is to recognize and open up to the oneness of God. And when we start the visioning process, I'm actually going to lead you, part of the visioning process, the way I learned it, was to lead you through a spiritual mind treatment. And in the third step, which is the third step. Thank you, realization. The word just escaped me. Thank you, Christine S. The realization is when we do the visioning process. And then we close with the thanksgiving and prayer. So the first step really is opening up to that divine idea of God. And the second step in visioning is then to anchor that vision in love. Because what we know about God is it's unconditional love. And so we want to anchor our vision. We want to anchor ourselves in that unconditional love, to open up and feel free enough to say yes. And then we want to, excuse me for just a moment, I'm going to step over here. Oh, I was right. We want to open to the vision, right? So I'm going to ask a question. You're going to open up to the idea that whatever you hear, whatever you see, whatever you feel, that is that divine essence speaking through you. Reverend Bernardo used to say that all of his visions he heard in really clear English. And somebody said, well, why? And if you don't know Reverend Bernardo, he's a dear friend of mine. He was my minister down in Santa Fe, New Mexico before I started a church down there. And he said, because if it was my ego, it would talk to me in Spanish, because he was Cuban. And so be very careful. If the words sound too much like you, it's probably you. And so just to tell your ego, maybe take a back seat and let that divine essence speak through you. And then we're going to align with the vision. And aligning with the vision is when we ask the other 3 questions. What am I ready to release? What am I ready to receive? And what else do you have to tell me about this vision? That's aligning with your vision. And then really being grateful and thankful that vision, giving thanks for that vision that came through you. Because remember, through you as you. God is speaking through you because you've opened up that channel and really let it have its way with you. It's very much like the song we open with, Use Me. So if you're at home, I hope while I've been speaking, you remembered that, oh, she probably wants me to get paper and pencil. And if not, I'll give you a heartbeat to go get paper and pencil. Everybody else, did you get a handout when you walked in? Because those are the questions that you may or may want to use. One of the other things about visioning, it is a meditation. However, in the meditation, when I ask a question, most people like to come out of the meditation, write down what they've seen, heard, or felt, or nothing, and then go back into the visioning process. And so, just so you know, in between the questions, you have about 2 minutes. And that may seem like a short time to a lot of people, like, I need more time. No, if you need more time, then your ego wants to nudge its way in. The reason that the vision process is shortened like that is so your ego doesn't have a lot of time to feed you information. That really, it's kind of like journaling. When you start the visioning process, put your pen on the paper. Maybe, if you really want to experience something different, write with your non-dominant hand. The only catch to that, for me anyway, is when I write with my non-dominant hand, I need a decipherer to come and say, like, okay, what exactly did I write there? So it's up to you. However, I really would like us to open up. And so everybody knows this visioning process is about you. So we're going to vision in the class that I am facilitating on Thursday nights. We talked about life purpose. And that is what we're going to vision for today. Individually, is your life's purpose. And a life purpose is something that when you do it, it brings you absolute joy. You lose track of all space and time. And so some of us are living our life vision, and some of us may not even know what our life vision, our life purpose is. So this is an opportunity to allow that divine essence to speak through you. And so if we could dim the lights just a little, so it's kind of meditative, and if you have some background music, Kyle, that would be great. And so I ask you, first of all, to gently close your eyes. And let's just take in, they're called yoga breaths. So we're going to breathe in to the count of 4, in through the nose, 3, 2, 1. As you breathe out slowly through the mouth, we double it. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in again through your nose, long, deep breath. 3, 2, 1. Breathe out slowly through your mouth. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in through your nose one last time. Deep breath. 3, 2, 1. And now breathe slowly out through your mouth. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let your breath and your body just relax, knowing that whether you're in the Carco Center or in your home, that you are safe. So just relax into that safety. And so I recognize right here and right now that there is one life, and that life is God. It is all-knowing, it is all-powerful, it is everywhere, all at the same time. It is that one life that lives and breathes and has its existence in and through and as me, and in and through and as all of you. It is everywhere present, so it certainly is here right now. And because it is here right now, we allow ourselves to open up and be that channel for God's good, that unconditional love that knows nothing other than. It is that one constant vibration, unchangeable, always available. And so we allow ourselves to be steeped in that essence that is God. We take a moment with the natural rhythm of our breath to feel into the energy that is over us, around us, through us, and as us. And as we do that, we truly feel the beat of our heart, the next breath we take, that true essence of knowing who we are and why we're here. And so because of that magnificent clarity, for that opening up of that channel to be a receiver, to receive that download of God in its ever-present form, down through your mind, into your body, out your hand. You may not even know what you are writing, and it does not matter. We will ask the very first question, which is, what is Spirit's highest vision for my life's purpose, my soul's journey? What is God's highest vision for my life's purpose, my soul's journey? And I invite you to be present, to be quiet, to see what you need to see, hear what you need to hear, feel what you need to feel. I invite you to take a deep breath in, just relaxing into your body, feeling that essence that is bubbling up inside of you. We ask God, that divine spirit, that all-knowing, what must I release or surrender to manifest this vision? What must I release, let go of, stop being, to manifest this vision into my life? And I invite you to just be. And now grounding yourself again with your breath, becoming available to listen, to see, to smell, to touch. What must I become to manifest this vision of my life's purpose? What must I become? And I invite you just to listen with an open heart of what Spirit wants you to hear, wants you to experience. Like an angel whispering to a blade of grass, grow. What must I become? And now we truly open up to the good that is God with our last question. Is there anything else that I should know about this vision, that I should know about my life, right here and right now, that Spirit wants to tell me? Is there anything else? You are in that open channel to receive. Let that presence speak to you now. And so I give thanks. I give thanks for each vision that was received by each person that is listening, that has gone through this process with me. I give thanks knowing that that divine idea of God is them. has been channeled through them. I give thanks for whatever the vision is, knowing that it speaks to their heart individually. And I know as they embody what they received, they start to live from that place of absolute connection to their soul, to their heart, to their knowing. And so with that gratitude, that I release all of these visions truly back into that divine field from whence they came. That field of manifestation that is God. That place that is constantly saying yes to us in every moment of every day. It is in that yes that we release, we let go, and together we say, and so it is. So I invite you, for those who truly want to share their visions on Genesis Family. If you choose, it might be very personal and you may choose not to do that. However, if you do, I know that you'll get a lot of loving support from the community. Visioning is a process. Just imagine what your day would be like if you awakened every morning, took in a deep breath, and before you moved, you just said, what is Spirit's highest vision for my day today? And you really listened to what the universe wanted you to hear. I personally believe if I did that every day, I'd probably be a heck of a lot of a better person, because I'd be more in alignment with why I'm here. So it's a practice I can't tell you that I am doing on a regular basis, and yet I think it is a practice that I'd like to start. So if anybody's interested, please feel free to start that practice. And so I'm going to close before we do our affirmation together. I found these, and I thought it was a nice way to close out our visioning process, and it's called Rules for Living. Some of them are humorous, I hope. Feed your faith, and your doubts will starve to death. God wants spiritual fruit, not religious nuts. Some folks wear their halos much too tightly. If you ask my husband, that's one thing he tells people. Yes, she's a minister and her halo is not on tight at all. Unless you can create the whole universe in 5 days, then perhaps giving advice to God isn't such a good idea. Sorrow looks back, worry looks around, faith looks up. Too many people offer God prayers with claw marks all over them. It's why we have thanksgiving and release in our affirmative prayer. Let them go. Trust the process. To forgive is to set the prisoner free and then discover the prisoner was you. You have to wonder about humans. They think God is dead. Bernie will love this. And Elvis is alive. It's all right to sit on your pity pot every now and again. Just be sure to flush when you're done. A little too much there, I know, on Sunday. You'll notice that a turtle only makes progress when it sticks its neck out. And the last one, the mighty oak tree was once a little nut that held its ground. So I invite each one of you to remember we're all a little nuts in our own unique way. Hold your ground. Be who you've come here to be. Don't apologize for it. If you're not hurting anybody, and I know looking out at all of you, none of you are hurting anybody, then be who you've come here to be. No apologies. Some people are going to adore you. Some people are going to be, take her or leave her. Some people are going to be like, don't like her at all. Be okay with that. There's 7 billion people on the planet. All of them are not going to adore you. And that's okay. Be you. Everybody else is taken. Let's say our affirmation together. My life is the embodiment of Spirit's highest idea of itself as me. Let's say that again. My life is the embodiment of Spirit's highest idea of itself as me. And so we'll close with a prayer. Father, Mother, God, Spirit, right here and right now, feeling the energy of this room, I know and feel the passion that is bubbling up in each and every person. They have tapped into that place within them that may have been dormant, that they may have been so familiar they absolutely knew, may have been so strange it kind of left them a little unnerved. And yet I know that that divine idea of God as each one of us is crying to be heard. It wants our expression of it, a unique, individualized manifestation of it in form. Never present, never duplicated by anybody else on the planet. Regardless if they're doing exactly the same thing you are doing, they're doing it differently. Be you. And so that is what I know today. That divine essence, that God in form as each and every one of us is excited about the release that has happened. The unbounding of self. To be released and magnified into greatness, because that is why we're here. Not from an egoic place, from a place of pure spirit. I am it in form. How could I doubt that? How could I play small to that? So that is what I invite us all to do today, is to give thanks. Thank you, God, for the life I have right here and right now. Exactly the way it is, exactly the way it is not. And I call in more, please. More life, more love, more knowing of that power, that presence, that one that beats my heart, that breathes my breath, that knows the magnificence and the truth of who I am, who you are. So I release these words knowing God has said yes to me, to all of you, to everything, everywhere. That is what it does. And it is in that yes that we let go, we let God, and together we say, and so it is. Namaste.
There are those who can live with the things they don't believe in. They are giving up their lives for something that is less than it can be. Some have longed for a home in a place of inspiration. was free.